In 1999, a man named Thomas R., aged 32, walked into a psychiatric facility in Geneva, Switzerland, claiming something that would disturb both neurologists and psychologists for years. He said, "I don't hear voices. I hear thoughts. And I know they're not mine." Thomas wasn't violent. He wasn't delusional in the traditional sense. In fact, he was calm, articulate, and eerily aware of what was happening. But he insisted, ever since a minor car accident 2 months earlier, he could tune in to the mental chatter of people nearby, not voices in his head, but words, impressions, secrets. Initially dismissed as schizophrenia, his case took a turn when a neurologist conducted a test. Thomas was placed in a soundproof room with 2 observers in an adjacent chamber, silently watching him. The observers were instructed to think of random numbers and simple objects in their heads, but not speak, write, or signal them in any way. Thomas, eyes closed, whispered, "8. Red apple. Hammer." All were correct. This happened multiple times. Over several weeks, he passed dozens of silent object-thought association tests. One psychiatrist wrote, "Either this is the most subtle form of cognitive suggestion we've ever seen, or something else entirely." Thomas described it as painful. He couldn't sleep in apartment buildings. Crowds made him nauseous. He said cities were like drowning in thoughts that aren't yours. He began sleeping in remote forests, wearing a hoodie lined with foil. It didn't help. His most terrifying statement: "Some people don't think in words. Their thoughts are feelings, sharp, twisted ones. And I still feel them." One incident that shook the medical staff occurred during a routine session. A nurse walked in. Thomas froze, then said slowly, "She's going to take her own life this weekend. She's planning it now." The nurse broke down crying. She admitted everything, the method, the location, exactly as Thomas said. She later received help, and credited Thomas with saving her life. Eventually, Thomas stopped cooperating with research. He said every test made the signal worse. He began drawing strange diagrams, spirals, intersecting lines, grids over human heads. He claimed thoughts weren't just mental, they were electromagnetic. And some people, due to trauma or spontaneous calibration, could become receivers. Then, in 2002, he disappeared. His room was left untouched, except for one note scrawled on the wall. "This is not a gift. It's interference." No one has seen or heard from him since. Neurologists debated the case for years. Some said it was an extreme form of hyperempathy mixed with cryptomnesia. Others speculated a novel form of synesthesia combined with post-traumatic neuroplasticity. But there was no consensus. What haunted the team most was a tape he left behind. In the audio, Thomas is alone, speaking slowly. "If we ever figure out how to silence the noise, we might hear what's underneath. And what's underneath isn't us."